It is my pleasure to introduce our first Department of Energy NNSA guest, Dr. Njema Frazier. Dr. Frazier is a member of the Senior Executive Service and the Director of the Office of Experimental Sciences at the Department of Energy National Nuclear Security Administration. In this capacity, Dr. Frazier oversees a $1.3 billion weapons science R&D program to direct, plan, coordinate, and execute experiments in fields ranging from nuclear physics, hydrodynamics, plasma physics, and materials science to high energy density and ignition science. As director, she also provides expert scientific, technical, and budget advice to senior defense, NNSA, DOE, interagency partners, and congressional members and staff on the management, direction, and requirements for NNSA Defense Program's experimental sciences portfolio. Dr. Frazier has been with NNSA since 2001 and has previously served as physicist, acting deputy, and acting director for a number of NNSA's flagship scientific and technical programs established to ensure the United States maintains a safe, secure, and effective nuclear weapons stockpile without explosive nuclear testing. Prior to joining the NNSA, Dr. Frazier was a professional staff member for the U.S. House of Representatives Committee on Science for 4 years. A longtime trailblazer in science, Dr. Frazier was the first African-American woman to graduate with a physics degree from Carnegie Mellon University, as well as the first to receive a PhD in theoretical nuclear physics from Michigan State University. As the co-founder of the DOE Power Professional Opportunities for Women at Energy Realized Employees Resource Group, and a member of both the National Society of Black Engineers National Advisory Board and the Mellon College of Science Dean's Council, she continues to champion STEM and DEI in education and the workforce. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Frazier.
Good morning, everyone. I have the honor this morning of welcoming you all on behalf of NNSA. So I really am honored to be here. I think I've spoken at the conference a few years back when we could actually speak together in person. So this will have to do until we can get back together again. My secondary role, other than welcoming you all and saying how pleased and honored I am to be here, on behalf of both my program, on behalf of Mark Anderson, who's in charge of RDT&E, the Undersecretary for Nuclear Security and Administrator, as well as Dr. Charlie Verdon, who is in charge of defense programs in NNSA. I think I covered all of the executives in NNSA. I also want to give some very special thank yous. I'd like to thank Krell. This is a momentous year. I'd like to thank them for their management over the last 15 years. I can't believe this is SSGF's 15th anniversary. Very happy to see all of the highlights already about LRGF. In addition to that, having started just in 2018. And then thank you all for being here, for all of your hard work, for all of the innovation, science, knowledge, and energy and new ideas that you guys bring to this program, and ultimately that you bring to NNSA and what we have to do in our various application spaces. Thank you to the advisors and the laboratories for your support and your guidance throughout the years. It's been really key to know that there is that support system and that there is that close linkage between what the students are doing and some of the knowledge that you have about how that research is being used, how it can be applied, and how it can further what we're doing throughout the federal government. This is a very successful program, and I know you'll hear more about that over the next 2 days. There are some very impressive stats, including those stats that include, those of you that go on to be part of kind of the nuclear security complex, right? And even for those that don't, we always need champions, people who understand the science, the program, the value, the utility in other areas, right? Whether you go into academia, other areas of government, industry, nonprofit sector, you know, in any form you end up taking professionally, it really is a boon to us to have had you as part of SSGF and LRGF. So very happy to have you here. So the program is obviously been recognized by various NNSA administrators. And I can say over the last 2 weeks, I have heard Dr. Burden, who is the Deputy Administrator for Defense Programs, mention academic programs, academic alliances, the pipeline numerous times. And so I think that he is very committed to this. Hearing him say that out loud with the whole host of areas that he has to be responsible for, that he has to pay attention to, that are getting congressional attention from OMB and other areas, is really an indicator of how much he values this program, values early career scientists, and values the pipeline that we have to maintain and keep strong. So I think these are all, you know, positive indicators that are going in the right direction, from myself, my program managers, all the way up through the highest levels of government. So I think that, you know, you all can be proud of that and reassured by that. This is definitely going to be a program that we see through in perpetuity into the future. So we do our best to keep it strong, and we're open to ways to make it even stronger in the future. So about NNSA and how it relates to your research, I think you're somewhat aware, but you know, really it all comes down to the fact that we have to maintain a nuclear deterrent that we're confident of in the absence of underground testing, right? So that means scientific experiments, that means models and simulation, that means engineering, that means surveillance, that means analysis of historical data, all of those things. And when you think about the complexity of our weapons systems and things that are kind of ancillary and related to those areas, then you understand, you know, how your science really comes into play. Your knowledge comes into play, new ways of thinking about things, new ways of incorporating, you know, things that are becoming more prevalent, quantum machining, machine learning, AI, you know, different techniques for bundling and assessing and mining information, different techniques for, you know, creating targets and capsules, different techniques for, you know, how one might set up an experiment and do the diagnostics and analysis. All of these things get us closer to being able to replicate those conditions without having the burdens that come along with doing any kind of testing or underground testing. So that is really, you know, how your science plays at the highest levels within the nation and within the federal government. So I encourage you all to, you know, keep going in those areas. I don't have any charts. If I did, I would show you various org structures so you can see how we're all related. But I think I covered most of that, talking about, you know, the experimental science, the theory, the modeling, the simulation, analysis, mathematics, computational science, obviously, surveillance, analysis of historical data. So that's all you would see, you know, as we talk about how we, you know, are intertwined with other areas in the STEM fields. I will say also that there is a production aspect of this. There is a modernization aspect of this. There is a life extension aspect of this. And so I know we all are kind of coming in with different bases of understanding what NNSA does, but that's kind of a quick snapshot. And I'm sure there are some folks on the line that can give you more information on NNSA. But really, I just wanted to stress how pleased I am that you're here, give the various thank yous. Thank you to the organizers within NNSA that worked with Krell to make this happen. Dr. Nelson, Terry Stone, Mike Chrysler, the various program managers really depend on you very heavily to bring the best quality of not only students, but of programming. I'm already impressed by the production quality of this virtual event. So we are learning a lot in this period of COVID, of various other challenges that we've been having throughout the country. And I'm encouraged so much by not just in the NNSA sphere, but really government-wide, how much the recognition of science is playing a role in the decision-making and how we move forward. So with that, I want to thank all of the fellows, alumni, NNSA, lab personnel, advisors, mentors, coordinators, and steering committee members for both participating in this and everything you're doing to play a role in its success. So that is it for me. I think I have some time to answer any questions you may have. I don't know if somebody can help me navigate through the chat, but I am looking forward to the next 2 days, and I hope you all have a wonderful time. So thank you.